everyone, welcome back to WickGeek channel, and in this video we'll be taking a look at some of the dial modes that are available on your camera. And we have got here Canon 80D. As you know, I've been doing tutorial videos for the past few weeks, and so trying to make you understand how a camera can be used in various techniques, and obviously we have got some tips and tricks at the end of this tutorial, so stay tuned and subscribe for that. So in this video we are taking a look at different dial modes, like I said. So we have the programmed AE mode, we have time value, which is TV, we have aperture value AV, and manual mode, of course. So taking a look at the programmed AE, that means auto exposure. So the exposure is going to be automatically adjusted by the camera itself, as is the shutter speed and various other settings such as the aperture value, ISO speed. But then you can actually forcefully change the settings you want to do that. So for example, if we are suppose looking at proper scenery, then depending on what scenery you're shooting, the camera doesn't always choose the right thing for your scenery, and depending on that, if you choose to reduce or increase the shutter speed value, or say the aperture, you want more depth of field, then you can obviously do that half pressing the shutter release button. So based on that, again the other settings will be determined by the camera itself. So you can also change the exposure value and such things. So that's why it is called programmable. That means you can actually program, but then if you don't decide to do that, the camera will automatically judge it. And moving on, we have got the TV here. TV in the sense time value, like I said, a lot of people don't know what TV stands for. So that means the shutter speed is measured in time, and hence TV. So you are going to decide the shutter speed for your camera because you know what the scenario is. For example, if you are capturing images or videos of the kids and you know that it is an action scene, or if you are shooting sports, then you definitely know that it is a scenario where action matters, then you can actually choose the shutter speed. Because the more the shutter speed, you get that sharp image looking even though the person is in action. So that means you can actually judge the shutter speed and let the camera decide other settings for you. So that will be very easy and convenient way of capturing some action scenarios. So for wildlife photographers, or if you're capturing your kids or some functions and you know that there going to be a lot of movements out there, then you can obviously choose this time value. As you can see here, changing the main dial, not the other dial here, changing the main dial would change only the shutter speed, and you can actually forcefully select the exposure value or ISO and other focusing points, everything else. So priority will be on changing the shutter speed, but then you can always do other stuff, always change other stuff except the aperture value, because that's not going to be called TV if you are doing that. And you can also indicate exposure compensation. You can also bracket your shots, so capturing some three different scenes can bring you some amazing images that your eyes always would want to see. There is the flexibility of doing that as well. Next, moving on, we have the AV, that is the aperture value. That means, as the name suggests, we are changing the aperture and letting camera decide other stuff. So as easy as that. And why do we use this aperture value is that so suppose the scene requires a lot of depth of field, and you want to control how much depth of field you want in your camera, then you can actually select this aperture value and decide the f-stop number. So higher, remember this, higher the f-stop number, light it is going to receive will be less, you are getting more depth of field. That's how it is. So if you are reducing the number f number, it is going to let more light inside. That's how you control depth of field. So f 1.4, 1.8, all these values will indicate different depth of field. So for example, in the frame, as you can see that I've got the plant and a minion here. So the minion is in front and plant is kind of backwards, or about 6 inches back of this minion. And you can actually determine which plane of focus you want to be in proper focus. I have done a different video about how focusing works actually. So for example, if I want only plant to be in focus, what I'll obviously do is to hit the focus button onto the plant, and obviously I go and capture. that's not the case if you want to attain proper focus. You want to see that, you want to know that selecting proper aperture value will actually give you proper kind of focus there. For example, if I choose on the plant and if I still select the f20 as my aperture value, probably the minion is also going to be in focus. We just don't want that. That means we have to reduce the f number and get that plant in focus. Why it is happening so is that whatever focusing point you choose, it determines the plane of focus. That means the perpendicular line you draw from the plant is going to determine the focus. All the areas in that line would be in focus and not the front and the back. So some distance will be calculated. You have got several apps on your phone. If you want to calculate how much depth of field you will get with the different numbers and settings. So I always suggest that you determine your focus and the f number based on what kind of scenario you are in. So as you can see, I'm just changing the aperture value and the shutter speed is determined by the camera itself. So that's how this works. f5.6 means it is letting more light inside. It will obviously increase the shutter speed, giving us some really crisp images. And you can obviously choose various different focus points, and all that will be flexible like you do in manual mode. So next is mainly the manual mode. Is obviously you have got manual settings to change for. That is how you control everything that you want manually. And all these modes have different uses, like I have been telling now. So kindly use what mode is suitable for what scenario. And we have got this another mode called bulb mode. That means for how long you press the shutter release button, so long it will decide the shutter speed. For example, if I hold on the shutter button for like 5 seconds, then the shutter speed will be 5 seconds. So as you can see here, since this is an indoor lit with a lot of light here, so since I have held the shutter button for quite a while, then obviously it will be overexposed. So you can actually determine what kind of shutter speed for how long you want. For example, in astrophotography, or if you are doing a night portrait or night kind of shoots, then this will be a lot helpful. Obviously you will need a tripod to get that smooth and crisp images. Otherwise it is going to be shaken, or the images look blurry. So that's what you need to keep in mind. So that's it for this video. I hope this video was helpful in letting you know about the different modes that your camera has. So next time when you go out to capture pictures, make sure you use proper dials in your camera and get that crisp and sharp images that you always wanted to have. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share this video and hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you in another video. Bye bye.